Tannehill is sacked. This time Dane Fletcher.
Hey.
This was the first down sack by Fletcher.
Let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me.
Welcome to Fletcher's Unfiltered Podcast, touching on all things fitness, business, and issues in Montana. Welcome to episode number 5. Today, I wanted to do one just solo, and because it's my podcast, I feel like I have the liberty to do so. And more importantly, I think it's important to break up, the dialogue of this podcast a little bit, and break up just me hosting and interviewing people, and kind of just go into different topics that I've seen or that bother me or that need to be spoken about. And that's why today's almost like a little memoir on myself through commitment. And I'm going to refer a lot of people to this episode. So if we've had conversations and I was like, hey man, you need to check out episode number 5 of my podcast, and that's going to answer a lot of your questions. Here you are. And this is I am calling you out at this point. So this is a call out. And if you spoke to me, which a lot of people speak to me on these two things, is, I probably give you the runaround, nice answer. So when you come to me and you ask me like, hey man, I just want, a body like yours, or how do I become successful in business? I probably give you the nice answer. And I'm like, hey man, all you got to do is commit to the gym, and you got to, work harder, work out like 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And for business, you just got to get in and grind. But this is what the true dirt is that needs to be said, that people aren't saying, I don't think, of what you're up against. Because in the back of my mind, when people ask me this, and I get asked this question almost weekly, I would say almost weekly. And in the back of my mind is like, you'll never get there. You won't get there. One, because you won't commit. At this point, you're 28, you're 33 years old, or whatever you are, and you haven't committed to one thing in your life. And there's no knocks on that, but there is knocks on that. A lot of 20 to 35-year-olds, you're still on your parents' tit in one way or another, living at their apartment, still on their phone bill, still having them pay for gas or whatever it may be. I look around town and I see way too often that, the general, 26-year-old is going to get a cup of Joe at 9:30 in the morning, and then they got to go out for lunch and get their lunch with their friends, and then they're playing pickleball by 2:30 on a weekday with a bunch of friends, where I'm like, where is the grinders? Where are these kids grinding? And if you want a girlfriend, why would a girl date you? If you're looking around the bars, and this is all kudos to the women that you notice around town or in this country right now, is for the majority is like women are taking care of themselves. They're taking care of their bodies. They're looking good. They're strong, they're independent, they're successful. They're trying to be successful in work or wherever avenues they're trying to go. They're putting in their work to do the thing. And men, for the most part, again, that 20 to 35 age range, again, the call out, they're not, man. And when you're smaller than these women that go to the bars or wherever you go, that might be your sign, number one, that you need to pick your shit up, or like life's just not going to work out that well for you because you're not that different. You might be funny, or you might have a different personality in your own mind, but you really don't. Women are looking for commitment. People are looking for commitment. I, as a business owner, I'm looking for commitment. Do I look through resumes and I'm like, okay, this person worked here, here, here? Yeah, a little bit. And do I check the boxes? Like, you went to school here? Cool. You went to school at Harvard. But beyond that, I'm looking at commitment more than anything. Where have you worked? And if you've worked at places, have you worked more than a year? Have you worked more than 2 years? Not 3 months here and here and here, and then you have that COVID gap where you took the whole thing off. If you have that COVID gap, don't ever submit a resume to me, because that shows a lot about you, that you were not willing to work, and you're just cruising around in a van for fucking 2.5 years or whatever it was. So don't do that. Just save yourself time, because I won't hire you there. But I know directly about who I'm hiring when I look at a resume. And if somebody's committed, I'm all eyes on that person, because it shows a lot about your character. A little bit about mine, just a side of commitment is, when I was a freshman in high school, I got cut by the baseball team. I said never again. I came home, my dad, I told my dad that I got cut. He goes, all right, cool. He goes, where are you going to get a job? And at that point, I got a job for my buddy Pat doing masonry, and did masonry all the way through high school. and then still stuck with it all the way through college. So I'm on a full ride scholarship at MSU. Still got to go to early morning workouts and then go work an 8-hour day on the wall with a bunch of ex-convicts. So I did that all the way through high school and all the way through college. And the reason why I'm saying that is, yeah, like it sucked. Did I learn a lot doing masonry for that amount of years? Like maybe, I mean, yeah, I picked up on some things. I picked up on a few things, even from ex-convicts, of maybe what not to do. But what I really learned is that I don't want to be doing this shit the rest of my life, and it's worth it. The grind is worth it. And so, you know, if you look at my resume, I'm committed. I'm so dedicated to whatever I start. So I said, I'm going to do that. Okay. Then I had the opportunity to play in the NFL. All I said in my head is that I'm going to get 6 years in the NFL. Why? Because that's the double amount that the average is in the NFL. The average is 3 years. I believe it's still that, but at the time it's 3 years. So I want to get 6 years, double the average, get out. That was like my end all goal. And I thought that'd be a great career. So, you know, and talk about a ton of broken bones, ton of surgeries, ton of everything. I mean, just in the NFL, I had 2 torn ACLs, 1 in college. So that's 3 ACLs. That's 3 years off of my life in the dark, dark years of just recovery. And so then my 5th year, I tore my ACL, my last game against the Bucs, and still grind out a quarter and a half of the torn ACL. After that, mentally, I was done. I was so done playing football. But in the back of my mind, I had committed and I would not give up on myself to play 6 years, because that's what I said I was going to do. Didn't tell anybody else I was going to do that, but I told myself I was going to do that. So I signed 1 more year with the Patriots, and I gutted out another year. Was it fun? Absolutely not. But I did it. A lot of this is not fun. Is working out every day fun? No, it's not. It's a grind. And so if you come to me and you're like, man, I've been working out for 6 months, but your idea of a workout is going to a gym and getting on a treadmill for 45 minutes and taking 3 pictures of yourself in the mirror, that's the opposite of working out. Like, you actually got to go, you got to commit to grinding. I'm not telling you that you have to bury yourself every day, because there's a fine line there as well. Like, you have to take care of yourself so you're able to work out for a year in a row, able to withstand it, you know? So by showing up, that's half it. By actually digging in and getting sore. So you got to lift weights. You got to be sore at night. So by being sore, it's kind of meaning that you're burning fat, building muscle. And if you're doing that 4 or 5 days a week, you're so sore and beat up by the weekend that you need to recover. So you're still building muscle. You're still losing fat, even on the weekends, because you grinded so well, so hard during the weekdays. So that's what I'm talking about, the level of commitment that you're up against. So when you're asking me, like, I just want to look like you, I'm like, there's no fucking chance you're going to look like me. You're scared to commit to the gym for a month. I've been committing to the gym since I was in 8th grade. And a lot of the times, you know, all the way through high school and college, I was doing 2-a-days. Like, I'm so committed to this. And now you're seeing, you know, kind of what I look like now, even though I'm knocking at 40 years old. But the level of commitment that it's taken me to get here, it's not even fair for you to say you want to look like me, because you haven't even committed for a month, 6 months, a year. Like, a year was a good starting point of committing to anything. I mean, just kind of like this podcast. I don't know what I'm stepping into with this podcast. Let's be very upfront. I started a podcast because I think it's really informative to pick other people's brains, talk on different subjects that might be hard for people to talk about, might be easy, but like it elaborates our community of like what we have in the community, what we have in the state, what's going on, brings more information in. But I said, like, you know, I'm going to commit to this podcast for a year, and I'm in, you know, and when I say something, I'm in. It's hard to commit, and it's not always easy. When I started the gym, if you want to talk on being successful in business, I think that the average business is still open for 3 years or something like that. You can fact check me on that one, but I believe it's like 3 years. For the first 3.5, 4 years, I didn't receive a paycheck from the gym. If anything, it cost me a lot of money every year just to keep the lights on. But what did I do? You know, you learn. You come home every night, you get your ass kicked, and you learn. How can we be different? How can we change it up? How can this thing be profitable someday? So someday I can get a paycheck out of this. Someday our members are happier. Someday I can pay my coaches better. So then this is not just, you know, a side hustle, but this is a career. That's eventually where I wanted to get to. And, you know, fast forward, I'm almost 9 years in now, and we're there. And we've been there for a few years, but like, you have to commit. You have to dig in. It takes the long nights. If my kids could ever see the long nights that I've spent, training in the gym when nobody's in the gym, the early mornings to get to the NFL, the early mornings, the late nights to keep the lights on in my businesses. I wish they could see that, I mean, even to this day, I wake up and I get in the hyperbaric chamber a couple of mornings a week before anybody's awake in the house. And I go down there and I'm working, writing down notes, I'm getting stuff done. I'm planning. And so if you're thinking you're going to get into any type of business, that's like a fraction of who you're up against. And I don't know what business you're getting into, but you're going up against true psychopaths in business. I know people that make millions of dollars a year, millions, and they still are waking up at 3:34 in the morning, going and grinding till 7 o'clock at night. And I'm not exaggerating that. That's like what you're up against. And so, yeah, maybe you got to cut out your cup of latte at 9:30 in the morning. Maybe instead of eating lunch out every day, maybe you eat leftovers from dinner so you can get 2 more tasks done at the office or at home or wherever you're working, and you're eating better food and you're taking better care of yourself. That's what it takes. So if you are wanting the truth on things, it all takes commitment wherever you got to go. So you got to commit, and it's things that we already know. It's things that we were taught since we were in kindergarten of how to work hard, what to eat, what to eat by now, to eat vegetables, all the stuff, high protein. I'm telling you, what to eat. You can look that up on Google. And if you're having issues with that, I mean, let us know and we can guide you in the right path. But the answer is not, unless you're severe, 400 or 500 pounds or whatever it may be. Like, don't go for the easy fix. Like, so many people are looking for the easy fix on Ozempic right now, and these diets and this, that, and the other. That's so not the answer. I can't even if you're on like the Ozempic and stuff like that, and you weren't like severely obese. Like, I'm probably not the guy to talk to because my alternatives are so different. Like, you didn't even commit to the gym for a year, and yet you're going to Ozempic, and you're going to fight that Ozempic shit the rest of your life. I promise you that. That's not just like the easy fix either. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is I'm so tired of these kids. You see these kids out and playing pickleball or fall for whatever. I'm down to go have fun, but on a weekday at 2:30, that's not the time. Like, you guys should be grinding, and it's also your parents' fault for enabling this shit. It's totally the parents' fault. But if you're that kid and you want to grow up and you want to start taking life into your own hands, first and foremost, you need to get off the tit. Even if it's a cell phone bill, whatever kind of bills, or you're living at their apartment or their house or anything like that, it's time to grow up. And if you got to downgrade and you got to get in a shitty apartment, then downgrade and get off of everything. If you got to go get more jobs and you got to go grind, nobody feels bad for you. Like, you got to start growing up and earning stuff for yourself. So stop feeling bad for yourself, and maybe, like, if you don't look as cool to your friends or something because you're in a shitty apartment or you're not driving around a new Audi car, maybe it'll teach you to learn. It'll teach you to go out and grind and earn what's yours, and you'll have a lot more respect for everything down the road. And then what comes hand in hand with that is people will see you as being successful because you know how to take care of your own shit. And then maybe you might get a girlfriend down the road because now you're able to commit to things. You're able to get a job and not just commit 3 months to a job and switch because this other one looks good or that one was hard. You're able to commit to your own fitness. You're able to take care of yourself. People see that. Everybody sees that. And then maybe, just maybe, a girl might see something in you and say, okay, this is somebody I want to lock in with because this person's able to work for what he wants. He knows what he wants. He's willing to grind for it. And there's nothing stopping him. So that's kind of my bitch fest for the day. I hope that helps. If I called you out by listening to episode 5, this is a direct call out. You need to grow up. You need to start taking life into your own hands. If this helps you, if this helped anybody, like it, share it, please. That's it. I hope everybody has a great day, and let's grind.